Healthy Rebel Radio is sponsored by the Healthy Rebel app. 300 plus secretly healthy, delicious, mouth-watering dessert and treat recipes made with all-natural, whole food ingredients. Now available for download on the App Store and Google Play. Find out more details at healthyrebel.com.
Welcome to Healthy Rebel Radio. I'm your host, Dr. David Geiser. I'm here with my Gaming Health Healthy Rebel co-founder, Amy Lane. Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's get straight to the news.
Okay.
Today, we're going to start with talking about the negative calorie diet. It's back in the news. Well, it's been in the news before, but I don't know if it's been in this way. People are writing cookbooks and people are doing new diets based on foods that have been thought that when you eat them, you burn more calories from the chewing than you actually get from the food.
Well, the chewing and the digesting and the...
Right. How do you feel about these things?
Well, it's always been around. I mean, it's not new. It's just recycled information.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I remember reading about it in my sister's magazines when I was probably 12.
Right, yeah. I guess it's that long ago.
What are you trying to say?
Just kidding.
We're just going to pause the show while I beat David.
Right. Good morning.
No, yeah, I mean, it's not new. It's recycled information. I mean, it's mainly based on fruits and vegetables, beans, legumes,
Mm-hmm.
that type of thing. So I don't have a problem with it from that capacity.
No, definitely. I mean, I've seen reports, though, that it's not true. That it's...
Well, it isn't.
Yeah.
In the long run.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, or... You know, someone like me would be emaciated.
Mm-hmm.
I only just by, like, not coincidence, but by what they include in these foods, because they do take longer to digest, and we can burn more calorie. I mean, I would be 80 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I don't eat anything that would be outside of what they're saying.
Yeah, I suppose.
You know, all I eat is fruits, vegetables, beans, legumes, and some nuts. So.
Yeah. Definitely.
And healthy carbs as well.
Yes, absolutely. And so it's very interesting to me because I don't think that the science is there. However, I was reading some things this morning from someone I respect with the Physicians Committee for... What's it called? The Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine. He seems quite reputable, and he's talking about a study that he had done, or his research team at their clinic, showing that a plant-based diet with low oils but still fat consumption showed that over the course of, I think, 14 weeks, people's metabolism stayed higher longer after meals compared to people who ate different diets or standard American diets.
Well, I believe it.
Like that.
I mean, just seeing the difference in my own self.
Right.
That being said, I mean, I exercise, I lift weights,
Mm-hmm.
I
Other things that boost your metabolism.
I do the whole thing, right? But, I mean, from the standpoint of it being harmful, no. I think I don't have a problem with it that way. Like, you know, when the Atkins thing, like that, I have a problem with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, or, you know, these packaged diets, or, you know, no carb, like no fruits, or that drives me crazy. I think that's harmful. There's nothing harmful about it. I think it's just a bunch of people trying to get people's attention and buy their diet books. I think it's foolish. I think that you don't need to do any of that. You just eat a whole real food diet and you're good. You don't need to go from diet to diet.
No, you're right. I mean, what happens when you eat real food, you eat nutrient-dense food, is your metabolism gets spiked. Mm-hmm. Fruits and vegetables. When you have a plant-based diet, your metabolism, it's shown, your metabolism goes up. Mm-hmm. You can burn calories easier. Just like we were talking, I think yesterday or the day before, about how lifting weights increases your metabolism. You then burn fat easier. It's the same thing if you eat nutrient-dense foods.
Yeah, I mean, you just feel so good.
Mm-hmm.
You just feel different.
Yeah.
You know?
Definitely.
So I don't think it's harmful.
No, it's not
harmful.
harmful.
I mean, it's just one of those things trying to get people's attention. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I feel like anybody my age or older is like, oh yeah, we've seen this before. Yeah, we've heard this before.
Yeah, it's just being
it's
recycled.
It's not news. Mm-hmm. New anything.
Well, the rest of today, there's so many quick hitter stories in the media coming out, and I think it'd be interesting to get your comments on them. There's a lot of really profound things happening in health research right now, and I know, like, we started this show, 6 weeks ago or something like that, and a lot has happened, but I mean the last week things are really turned up.
All right.
So I'm going to go through some things and let me know what you think.
Okay.
2 Zika vaccines have been developed in India. They're being tested right now.
Oh,
so that's moving forward. Oh yeah, we have to move quickly.
Wow.
So that's moving forward. They're not done yet, and they're not tested on humans. They're being tested on animals right now. I know that's how that makes you feel. But I mean, we got to move quickly, right? Cancer research is in the news, major, specifically with genetic testing, which we've been through a bunch of times. They have people. This one team of researchers is reporting to have found a test, a simple genetic test that can test for 5 different cancers at once. Yeah, this could be coming out soon.
So what would be...
It's a genetic test. And you know how we've been talking about there's a possibility that infections cause cancers. We know they cause certain cancers already, but they could cause other cancers. Well, the infectious process can alter your genetics. It causes one gene mutation, and then you get tumors grow. Well, we can do genetic testing now. So we figured out that there might be one test that can test for 5 different cancers just in the one test.
So what are you saying? Like the probability of you getting those types of cancers?
Yeah, exactly.
So what? How is that going to alter?
Well, it's going to allow people to do preemptive therapies or prepare for or have tumors removed if there's little tumors.
This seems like a nightmare to me.
Well, not really. I mean, it's extremely important. We know that in ovarian cancer, that if you catch it quickly, same with cervical cancer, they're extremely deadly. The only way we've been able to solve this is by catching it quickly. So yeah, it could be extremely great.
I don't know.
It's not out yet, but it could be coming down. They've also found that just came out this morning, certain antibiotics and heart medications are effective in killing cancer cells.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
They tested over 1,000 drugs that are already on the market against certain cancer cells, and they found 4 to be effective for things that we don't really have therapies for.
Wow.
Yeah, cardiac glycosides is one group of medications, and then a certain type of antibiotics have been also successful. And it's another epigenetic mechanism. They found that these drugs can switch the gene that has been turned off by a mutation, by a random event, or maybe an infection, I don't know, switch the gene back on.
Wow.
Right? Exciting. These drugs are already on the market.
Wow.
And have been deemed to be safe in humans.
Gosh, that would just be so wonderful.
Yeah. And then one more thing that I think is important to talk about, and it's Vox.com is a blog I follow, and they recently did an editorial on opioids in our healthcare system, pain medications, and that were promoted heavily in the 90s, and I think it was a really profound chart. Well, it was for me, that showed that the rise in sale of opiates to GPs. To patients, but GPs were promoting them, giving them to patients for pain, correlated with the amount of deaths by prescription opiates.
Yeah.
We've had this discussion before, and I'd like to hear what you think about the whole process, and you know, if you could give some comments on it, maybe. I mean, it's such a touchy subject, but we've seen many times in history where companies have marketed to physicians. Physicians have used their medications more, and it's had negative consequences. In this case, things like Oxy or OxyContin have been abused because they're addictive.
It's a nightmare. I've watched documentaries about it, especially in the States, where they have the pain therapy clinics, and they're basically just legal drug dealers.
Exactly.
And these people are admittedly unable to function without these drugs. They're beyond addicted, and they're ruining their lives.
Yeah.
It makes me really sad. And a lot of these things happen from, you know, an accident or a situation that they were then just prescribed, and that thing in your brain was just turned off, that addictive, you know, was turned on, and they can't stop taking them. Like, I mean, we're talking like suburban moms.
Yeah.
Like, can't stop taking the drugs, and like are picking these drugs over their children and their husbands and their lives, like ruining their lives. Like, we're talking major addiction. I mean, I don't know. Like, it's just, I think a lot of it has to do with, of course, we trust our doctors to know what's best for us. And also married with the fact that if you watch, drug commercials on television, they're always just like, do.
Yeah, look, I'm pain-free.
Yeah, like butterflies and romantic trips. And, like, I feel like they shouldn't be allowed to do that. Mm-hmm. I feel like they shouldn't be allowed to market like that. I feel like it all should just be factual and cold and just, like, there shouldn't be... it should be illegal for them to put any emotion into drugs. Mm-hmm. End of story. Period.
Definitely.
I think it should be illegal. I don't think celebrities should be able to endorse medications of any sort. Mm-hmm. I'm talking from heartburn to these pain medications. I think that it should be just a black and white fact sheet.
Yeah.
And I think everyone should have access to that. And I think that the contraindications and the warnings need to be larger than what they're beneficial for. And I think that...
especially when it's an addictive medication.
Right, because the scariest part is you don't know who's going to have that addictive thing. Mm-hmm. Some people know that about themselves, but some people don't. No. And it's really scary. Like, you'd be shocked by people that end up in addictions, and, they're shocked. Mm-hmm. They didn't, we have this, like, archetype of person that's sneaking around getting prescriptions and whatever. It's just not true. No. It could happen to anybody. So I think that would be one major step, and
and I've been to so many medical conferences that are sponsored by companies.
Yeah.
And yeah, they get their face out there, they get their drug out there, they get their product out there. You see it constantly, and this is what was happening in the 90s.
In the 90s, is it or is it not true that drug companies, that doctors would get kickbacks from prescribing from certain medications?
Well, it's true for certain medications, and I mean that's documented.
That should be illegal.
Kickbacks. Definitely, I think it's still happening. I mean, I'm absolutely
positive.
And
I think the kickbacks now, what I've heard, are things like paid trips to blank. Mm-hmm. Like, that's not okay. Like, you should not be swayed to prescribe anything. It should be only where it's indicated and where it would be suitable for the patient.
Definitely. And I mean, on the opioid scale, there's such potent medications. I mean, OxyContin is extremely potent and super addictive, and it can lead to even worse and worse and worse addictions.
Well, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah, hasn't that
been documented? Because it's then you try to find a cheaper solution.
Mm-hmm. Suburban moms.
Yeah.
Taking heroin. It happens.
It's messed up.
I mean, we saw a story the other day of a young couple our age, who has had young kids, and they're working professionals, and they were addicted to heroin because of their previous addiction to an opiate medication. It's scary.
I know, and we think like it's outside of us, and it's like, oh, those people. Mm-hmm. It's not. It's all of us, and like it's all of our concerns, and it's just one bad choice, or one hard time, or one losing your job, or getting down and out, faced with an injury. Like, it could happen to anybody.
Oh, definitely.
And we have to have more empathy towards those situations, and we also have to, I think, as a global community, protect those people that are down and out. Mm-hmm. So we need to make these things, we need to protect them.
Oh,
because we've all been, if you've been alive for a certain amount of time, there have been times where you look back on, like, hard times on yourself, and you think, gosh, I made weird choices that I would never make. Or that wasn't me. Or, and that could be anything. Like, maybe you've never gone to those dark places, but you can remember dark choices.
Yes.
So I think we should all have more empathy towards people and stop treating everybody like it's... Like, I remember my dad, which he never drank, he never smoked, he didn't swear, like, he was just a goody-goody. And I remember him saying to me one time, we were joking about gambling, like a joke, like about us gambling or betting on something, and he said, that's one thing I made sure I never tried, because I knew I would become addicted, and it made me laugh. I was like, okay,
sure,
the guy that won't say darn, sure, but then he explained it to me. He's like, no, I can sense that, how exciting that is, and I can feel that thrill in my brain. And when people talk about gambling addictions, he said, I empathetically get it, and I've never done it. Mm-hmm. So he said, I never went there, never
he
even
separated himself from it.
He just knew, don't touch it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's someone that's obviously very self-aware, and it would be hilarious if you knew him to think that he would even have that thought. So, you know, we're all capable of, you know.
Well, and I think there's also a larger discussion here to have about pain.
I mean, chronic pain, David, it just makes me very sad.
Mm-hmm.
People with chronic pain. And chronic pain as in physical chronic pain, or chronic pain as in, you know, depression.
Yes.
It's something we need to help.
Well, and I think it's an area where alternative medicine is doing a pretty great job.
Oh, yeah.
In supplementing these prescriptions.
Mm-hmm.
So, in pain management, I think that before prescriptions are used, all alternative therapies should be explored.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you agree with that?
Yes, 100%.
So I treat a lot of pain in my practice, and you know, whether it is with depression and mental emotional pain, okay, I do a lot of that as well, but that would be separate from the examples that I want to give today. We have tons of success with prescribing for pain, especially with reducing inflammation. I'm talking about supplementation.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many herbs out there that these medications have been derived from that as a whole herb are quite safe and have great efficacy.
Mm-hmm.
And
less negative side effects.
Exactly. So I love the herbal approach. I love the supplementation approach in terms of reducing inflammation for joint, muscle pain, that type of thing.
That reminds me, I've heard a lot of great things lately from people about using turmeric.
Yeah, I mean, curcumin is the most incredible anti-inflammatory in my practice right now.
But I actually hear people saying it's alleviating their pain.
Yeah, it works. It works really great. You're saying this like this.
I know, but I find it shocking when people are saying it back to me.
I know, isn't it great?
And that makes me just more, like, because there's things that we know in textbooks and, like, you know, oh, try this, whatever. People won't stick to it. You know how people are, like.
Oh yeah.
People are saying it back to me that they're using it and it's working, and I'm just like,
it's so great.
I feel like high-fiving them, like, yes.
So, turmeric is a spice. The active ingredient in turmeric is curcumin, and curcumin has potent anti-pain, anti-inflammatory properties, and we have found an incredible way of improving absorption in the digestive tract. So the products are getting better and better and better.
I'm just so excited. And
we found the right dose.
Yes.
So there's certain people who are doing different types of dosing where you take it until your pain is gone. You know, follow the guide of your naturopathic physician on that front. But we found a general dose that is working for pretty much everyone for pain reduction. So curcumin is absolutely incredible. The products that are on the market now are so well absorbed. It's just excellent.
I'm really excited.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
It's really great. And I mean, going to a naturopathic physician or being involved in alternative or integrative therapies, the reason I love it is because not only are you getting curcumin, fish oils, the things that reduce inflammation that we know from the research, or reduce pain, you're also getting physio. You're also getting acupuncture. You're also getting physical therapies like laser.
Yeah, all the modalities at once, which is the best way to help alleviate pain, to change course.
Definitely. And so many people come to me when they've tried one of the therapies.
Right.
They've tried one plus some supplementation, but it was the wrong dose.
Right.
So what I try to focus on in my practice is doing everything that's clinically proven at once.
Right.
And for most types of pain, we have success. And what that does is it prevents you from going down the road of prescriptions.
Right. And it also makes you feel better.
Well, I mean, that's the most important part.
And from the ground up. You know, not a you take this medication, cover up your pain, and then...
Exactly. We're treating the cause. I mean, the best part of... I mean, another incredibly important part of my practice is not only... I mean, everyone knows naturopathic medicine is focused on treating the cause. But we help with symptoms first. I mean, we get you feeling good.
Yeah, you don't let... Yeah.
That's the idea.
Yeah, you don't want people to suffer along the path of healing.
No, for sure. So there's so many therapies out there to try before going down this road, even if you've been recommended a prescription. And I mean, unless you're in a hospital setting and it's an acute emergency.
Yeah.
There's many things to try before going down the road of these addictive medications.
100%.
A lot of people have success with acupuncture for pain. I mean, it's a great therapy as well.
Acupuncture really was intense for me when I tried it.
Yeah, it's a different sensation, isn't it?
Yeah, I find it really intense. Like, I can see that it would help people with pain because I took it very lightly, when I was going to get acupuncture, and I was like, sure,
yeah,
whatever.
No problem.
I don't know what I was thinking. Mm-hmm. And then it was a very intense reaction. And I was like, okay, this is very real. This is doing something. This is...
Yes.
It was intense.
I mean, it's interesting you say that. This is very real. This is doing something. It's so helpful to have that first session and see, okay, wow, this is a real therapy. This.
Well, yeah, because I mean, you know, the fields that we're in, where we do work with, you know, natural modalities, a lot of the times they're kind of just, mm-hmm. you know, people dismiss them, mm-hmm. you know, and, you know, partially from some people that have abused them, mm-hmm. you know, who have sold
definitely
false ideas.
Any industry.
And because we're, you know, a threat to big companies. So, yeah. I mean, there's going to be negative press out there. But, you know, that's why I always say bring it back to your own BS meter. Mm-hmm. Go try something and really feel it. Like, to heck with what everyone's saying. See what it does for you, you know? And then you will, you know, be your own guiding system. Bring it back to your own intelligence. We all have our own set point.
Yes.
We all know the truth. Mm-hmm. You know?
Exactly.
And you can feel when something's working.
Yeah.
Now, you know, like a lot of things like diet and exercise, like natural supplementation, sometimes there's a commitment period mm-hmm. where you kind of have to have faith and you have to buckle down. You have to do it for a set amount of time so that your cells change, your body adapts, all that stuff. That's just reality.
Oh, exactly.
But things like acupuncture, like that was a very like acute, like, whoa.
Yeah, whoa, this is powerful.
Yeah.
I'd like to finish the episode today with just going through a bit of our own stories about pain.
Sure.
My story has been, and most of my patients know this because I like to go through it with my pain patients, mm-hmm. is upper back rhomboid muscle pain from injuries related to old basketball injuries and things like that.
And falling down the stairs.
And falling down the stairs. You know, accidents. And I'll be honest, what has worked for me for upper back pain has been very specifically fish oils, turmeric in the form of high-dose curcumin, and postural
And what's
exercise.
been your biggest problem, David?
What do you mean?
What has been your biggest... When do you fall back into pain?
It's a good question.
No, I know when you stop taking your supplements because you are too, quote-unquote, busy.
Yeah.
But as long as you're committed...
It's so true.
It's, you know...
I know, it's so true.
Which you have legitimate... Like, you're a very busy person. Like, but you are that person.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you must be very empathetic towards that when people say it to you.
I say, oh, yeah, I get it. I get it. Let's
try
and make it as easy as we can. Take them all at this time or take them...
Yeah. Which, definitely. You know, but you are 100% different when you're doing your...
So major sports injuries, multiple concussions, multiple injuries, and, you know, regulated very simply with fish oils, curcumin, and postural exercises. And for you, it's been one of these classic types of pains that I see all the time, which is neck tension, specifically with regards to lack of sleep, high stress, fatigue, that type of thing.
I carry all of my stress back there. And
your solution has been extremely simple, and I have success with this all the time as well. What has been your savior for the neck tension? Magnesium. It's incredible.
It's just day and night. I can't even believe it. And I mean, a couple little changes that I made, like getting a flat pillow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so another postural exercise, sleeping with a straight spine.
And you changed my desk to computer because that was making my neck more inflamed too. The typing I do all day, but
ergonomic.
Once you got me on magnesium, game changing. Because my neck used to get so rock hard and cramped mm-hmm. that I would actually make lymph nodes come out in the back, and then it would creep up the back of my skull, and I'd get unbelievable migraines. Mm-hmm. We're talking vomiting. I was really hurting myself.
Yeah, tension headaches then evolving into migraines.
It was a nightmare. Mm-hmm. And then you just did these simple things. And
well, I mean, it's very interesting because we know that our food is depleted in minerals mm-hmm. compared to how it used to be, mm-hmm. especially in North America, and magnesium being one of the major ones. So, I'm not surprised, but also stress, fatigue, overwork, these things drive the adrenal gland where you have to release lots of adrenaline and cortisol, which then the magnesium requirements go up. So not only is the food source low, but the requirement is higher when you're in this, type A, move.
Yeah, I mean, it's way better now, and I don't even have to take magnesium every day.
Exactly.
Now. Just when times are stressful, or, it's before, if I just have a lot of work to do, or if I find myself getting overwhelmed, bringing magnesium back, it's one of those things, too, that while I was having those problems, I had to be consistent with, but then I've been able to, I don't have to be as consistent with it now.
Yeah, I mean, that's great, because people ask me that all the time. Is this forever?
No.
No. And most times it's not.
No. I mean, I haven't had it now for...
Especially when we're treating the cause, which for you was stress.
Yes. And then I changed, we changed my whole lifestyle and made myself, very strict about practicing what I preach, basically.
Yeah, for sure.
And
with me, it's posture.
Yeah.
Which is just going to take time, and then supplementation will eventually be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the point of this conversation is to say that there's many things to try depending on your situation, and get guidance before you try anything, obviously.
And it can be life-changing.
Life-changing. Very simple things can just alter, your pain management.
I mean, I started to think there was something seriously wrong back there.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I had a slipped disc or I had some nerve problem.
Well, and it's risky too, because then you run the risk of going for a lymph node biopsy when you don't need one.
Yeah, and now there's just no issue. It's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. So that's our episode for today. Healthy Rebel Radio, episode 26. Thank you so much for listening.
See you.
Healthy Rebel Radio is presented by the online health and wellness center, DamiHealth.com. Since 2009, Amy Lane has successfully coached thousands of women through her signature program, the Bikini Body Program. Join today to work exclusively with Amy to unveil your greatest yet to be from the inside out. Go to DamiHealth.com for more information.
Thank you for listening to Healthy Rebel Radio. Please connect with us on our community pages on Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram, all at the handle @DamiHealth. For weekly recipes, articles, and all our episodes straight to your inbox, join our newsletter at DamiHealth.com. You can find all the links discussed in today's episode in the show notes. Thank you for joining us, and see you tomorrow.